Hey guys, what we're going to cover in this quick video is what happened in the Wrightwood real estate market last month, what we can expect for this month, and what we can expect in the first part of the year and into early spring of 2024. And definitely we've got some major interest rate news. My name is Dave Rupp, also known as Dr. Hot Rod the Realtor. I'm a Southern California real estate agent for Exp Realty. All my contact information is in the description below. Feel free to reach out with any real estate questions whatsoever. Okay, so keep in mind we are in December. A lot of people are very busy with the holidays and don't want to mess around with having people coming in their house, maybe tracking snow or mud in the house. And a lot of people are just flat out too busy to go house shopping anymore. They want to just take a break on it so they can get all their Christmas shopping done and do all the holiday get-together stuff. That being said, it's pretty much normal for us to see a slowdown between Thanksgiving and about New Year's, and that depends on snow. If it's raining and snowing, remember January and February are our two wettest months. If it's snowing and raining, it's still going to be slow, and it may even be slower than it was in early December. So weather has a play on it. Definitely the holidays have a major play on it, but expect it to be slow for this next month or so. Okay, so let's get into the statistics and the sales numbers for Wrightwood, California. Okay, so first off is our average sale price. It actually went up to $440,200, up from $418,000 the month before. The number of homes sold is down to 5 from the previous month. We sold 8 homes. The number of homes that are for sale is down to 35 from the prior month of 37. And the number of houses that are in escrow is down to 5 from the previous month, having 9 in escrow. And the number of days that it took to sell a house dropped massively to 16 days compared to the prior month of 43 days. The amount of new houses coming on the market dropped down to 11 compared to the previous month, 14. Statistically, the number of times we have to show a house before we get a buyer doubled. That's massive. It went all the way from 1 to 2. The statistics on that is always low in Wrightwood. The only ones that get counted in this statistic are electronic accesses. So there's electronic access lock boxes that you use your phone with, or you can access through an app on your phone as well. Those will both count in these statistics, but if you use a combination box and you're just coming up to the door and turning the combination back and forth or something like that, or if your office has a key for the house, those don't count. So in Wrightwood, we get an awful lot of showings that are never counted. So those numbers kind of don't really mean a lot. All this data is pretty much what we'd expect for this time of year normally. We get a lot more showings before we get a buyer. We get less buyer activity. We get less homes selling and less homes coming on the market. But what about interest rates, you might ask? Thank you, I'm glad you asked. Mortgage rates peaked at 8.03 on October 19th of this year. But recently we've had a significant drop. The market's been dropping down for a while now, but today we had a massive drop, almost a record-breaking drop. One of the lowest drops in history, a little over 1/4 of a point today. So our rate today, national average, 6.82. And that's massive good news for a buyer. 803 dropping down to 682 means a lot more people can qualify to buy a house that they couldn't qualify to buy before. And it means your payment's a lot less than it would have been at 803. And that 6.82 rate is nearly a 7-month low. And most economists are still predicting the interest rate will drop yet another 0.5 to a full % in the next coming few months. All right, so seeing how it's Christmas time, let's put all this information together and put a bow on it. So Wrightwood is still in a seller neutral, kind of borderline neutral market territory. Clean, well updated houses that are priced correctly in Wrightwood are going to sell relatively quickly. House prices are still holding firm, and buyers don't have that many choices still. Very limited amount of homes for sale. We have good buyer demand, and since interest rates just took a good drop today, we don't really have a sense of how that's going to affect the market yet. But thus far, we've dropped from the 8.03 down about a full percent before today's drop, and we didn't notice much of a change as far as buyer demand, probably because of the holidays. So what can you expect for the rest of the holiday season and into early 2024? You can expect pretty much the same thing we're getting right now, because the holidays are still causing people to be busy. I bet you a lot of people aren't even going to know this interest rate dropped for 2-3 weeks because they're not even looking at any of this stuff. So expect, again, activity to stay about the same into the new year. And depending on the weather, if the weather's nice, people will start coming out after the new year. But if it's nasty, rainy, snowy, don't look for anything to really change much until after the weather clears up. Another thing, people are going to be busy with tax time. So that'll slow things down as well. So when should we expect things to pick up? Well, if the interest rate keeps progressing down, that's going to get buyers off the fence. There's a lot of buyers, a lot of sellers that don't want to sell their house because they got a less than 3% interest rate and they don't want to go out and buy at 8%. Well, now we're at 682, and if we keep going down, that's going to change their mindset. So look for a big pickup this spring. If you have a house and you need to sell it before you buy another house, you need to get moving on that relatively quickly so that you can sell your house, get it in escrow, and then go out and shop before craziness hits. If you don't need to sell before you buy your next home, get to shopping now and start learning the values, learning what's a good deal. And when you find a good deal, get on it. You could always refinance it later if the rates continue to drop and you feel like, oh man, I should have waited. The problem with waiting, if you wait too long, everybody's going to be in. Inventories are still relatively low. We're going to have no houses to sell you. So look early, get your house up on the market early, price your house competitively so you can get in your next deal early and avoid the craziness that's coming, because it is coming. When the craziness hits, it's going to drive prices up. We're going to be back in the multiple offer situations where buyers are having trouble getting into a deal because there's multiple buyers trying to fight for the same house. And buyers are going to have to give up some of their rights, like your contingencies to do an inspection or different things like that. You're going to have to cut some of those things, or you may have to offer an appraisal gap clause. All things that are worse for buyers, but better for sellers. So get out there again, get it done early. My name is Dave Rupp, also known as Dr. Hot Rod the Realtor. Reach out to me if you have any questions.